This video talks about the t-test. For the t-test, now let's open the SPSS file. I have already opened here. Now let's move to the analyze and click on compare means and click on independent sample t-test. Before we test to independent sample t-test, first we have to find our data are normally distributed or not. If our data are normally distributed, then we can come into the compare mean section. If our data are not normally distributed, then we can test non-parametric test. So in our case, our data are normally distributed. Our effective engagement data are normally distributed. We already test for normality in previous video. Now let's go to the compare means and click on independent sample t-test. Now reset this section. Yes. In our case, effective engagement is normally distributed. So effective engagement is normally distributed. Now let's move into the test variable. Now I want to test this effective engagement is varied by the different variables or not. Let's say extra class of mathematics. Students who are taking the extra classes of mathematics. And let's move to the grouping variable and define the group. One for yes, I'm taking tuition classes of mathematics, and two for no, I'm not taking tuition classes of mathematics. Now let's move to the option. Oh, that's fine, it's okay. 95% confidence level, click on OK. Then we can find output of this SPSS. We can see here this group statistics talks about the differential information, sorry, different discretive informations about the effective engagement, and this information talks about the or test t-test. Okay, before our hypothesis is here, our hypothesis, null hypothesis is that is there any significant relationship between having a tuition class, relationship between effective engagement by having a tuition class or do not having a tuition class? The null hypothesis is there is no significance difference between there is no significance difference on effective engagement. There is no significant difference on effective engagement by having a tuition class or do not having a tuition classes of mathematics. This is our null hypothesis. Is this hypothesis true or false? For this test, now let's select the significance value. Here are two significance value. One is 0.944 and another one is also 0.944. Coincident. Here are same, but sometimes we can see here are different significant value. For this, now let's test Leven's test for equality of variance. Equal variance assume and equal variance not assume. Here the significance value for Leven's test is 0.317, which is greater than 5%. If this Leven's significance value is greater than 5%, then we have to assume equal variance assume. For this, we select 0.944, the first row's significant value. If this value is less than 5%, then we select this significance value, the bottom one. Now in our case, the significance value is 0.944, which is greater than 5%. 0.944 is greater than 0.05. So if this value is greater than 0.05, then we say there is then we say that there is no significance, there is not a difference. Yes, in that case, if this value is less than 0.05, then we reject null hypothesis. If this is less than 0.05, then we reject null hypothesis. But in our case, this value is greater than 0.05, so we retain null hypothesis. We accept null hypothesis. For the analyze, we can discuss in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it is fruitful for us.